Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel, Coffee Tea Paper. My name is Louise and today I have my Ferris Wheel Press ink review hat on. It's not a real hat, but I bet if I had a hat it would look very nice. I'm just loving the aesthetic on my desk right now. I've got my beautiful ink swatching journal that I picked up from Sarika Studio, which the only thing I added was this little label. I have the ink that we're going to review today, which is Tunes of Tinseltown. I have a new ink stand, the Everyday Ink Carriage, part of Ferris Wheel Press Modern Antiques range, and this is designed to display your 38 ml Ferris Wheel Press ink bottles, but it also provides support while you're using a dip pen or filling a fountain pen. I have one of these in the brushed silver colorway, and this one is in a beautiful polished gold colorway. I also have my fountain pen ink color spectrum swatching book, and I will do an ink swatch on the Tomoe River paper in this journal, as well as one on this swatch book, which this is more like a cold press watercolor paper. I just do my ink swatches with a paintbrush, and then I do a writing test with a variety of different dip pens. Today we're going to use this Browse Blue Pumpkin nib, and if I'm feeling brave, because sometimes it's not working so well, but I will use this Sailor Hokoro interchangeable nib dip pen with the 2.0 stub nib. Right, let's get started. You can see just how fine this beautiful paper is, so it's very nice for bringing out the characteristics of the various inks that we look at. First things first, let's open this beautiful everyday ink carriage stand so we can pop our ink bottle in it. So I find just using the flat blade of the scissors often helps with opening tricky boxes. The packaging, of course, as you would expect from Ferris Wheel Press, is always beautiful with a lovely eye to detail. And there is no plastic in their packaging either. It's always a cardstock, which is something to be appreciated in this day and age. Oh, it says beware of sharp edges. This product is not intended for children. Handle with care. Take care when filling. Ensure the ink bottle is upright to prevent spills and cap the bottle when not in use. Wipe clean with a soft cloth and warm water. Do not submerge in water. Do not use abrasives or solvents to remove dried ink. Well, I can imagine that might remove some of the luster on the finish of this ink carriage. I see here on mine the little velvet protective bits here haven't quite been glued on properly. So that is something I will have to attempt to rectify. Yeah, there we go. Everything's in place now. It's got the little soft feet on the bottom so it doesn't scratch your desk surface, and this doesn't scratch the bottle. Now let's have a look at our Tunes of Tinseltown ink. This came out around the Christmas period, and you can see some reflection of that in terms of the decoration on the box with the holly leaves and the berries. And here is a little happy holidays Ferris Wheel Press. There's a Christmas bauble, some ribbon, which looks like fountain pen nib, carousel, and of course the whole box is banded by these stripes, which are designed to look like a gift box, a ribbon gift box. And here is the bow on top. I'm expecting this to be a rich sort of greeny, piney, greeny, bluey sort of ink. And of course the Tinseltown, I think, is referring to Christmas tinsel. I personally don't like tinsel. It just sheds too much. This is a shimmer ink. So we will just agitate the shimmer in the box. One of my lovely viewers made an observation on one of my other Ferris Wheel Press review videos, and they are a fan of steampunk and steampunk design, and there's a little bit of that in Ferris Wheel Press. I feel they made the comment that they would love to see a steampunk inspired ink agitator that would keep your sparkling inks constantly in motion, so they didn't have to keep agitating the bottles and recapping them and so forth when you are writing with them. Now I'll just get in my little protective cloth here, just been through the wash, so it's not as flat as it once was. That rubber seal, wow, it's got this complete indent, so it's very protected on there. So let's do our swatches. We'll put our little sticker on so we remember what ink this is. And I've decided to add on my labels for this book a little sparkle emoji, even though we can see the sparkle, just a sparkle emoji as a little note to myself. So I'll set that aside to dry and we'll come back and have a look at that later. Always try to finish with a really good close-up of the ink after it's dried, and so we can get a clear picture of the characteristics while it's wet, while it's drying, on different papers, etc. Now for the writing sample. Well, so far this is a really, really rich green ink. Definitely reminiscent of those sort of pines with that dark greeny blue foliage. I have no idea what they're called. I'm just going to give the bottle a bit of a mix through. I just remember one of my viewers saying, and this is ages ago, so I do apologize, I can't remember your handle at this point, but making the comment that they would love to see an ink in this signature color of Ferris Wheel Press. I think this ink is that ink. If you remember who you are, this is the one. This is the Ferris Wheel Press colored ink. Let's have a look how this ink is drying. If you are a fan of green inks that aren't kind of cutesy or novelty green inks, but actually look a bit more professional, if you discount the champagne shimmer, that is, this is a really, really nice green. It's rich, I don't think it's just a festive ink. I really think it's appropriate for any time of the year. But what I love most about it is it is so reflective of Ferris Wheel Press's a signature colour. They have done all sorts of celebratory inks over the years, and ones that acknowledge the Jubilee ambassadors and all sorts of special occasions, etc., Lunar New Year's, but I am not aware that they have done an ink in their signature colour. So I am really pleased that that ink meets that brief, in my opinion. So I'll let you have a look at that, and I will do some close-ups so that you can see. But I do want to say that if you are a regular user of Ferris Wheel Press inks, the bottles can be a little unstable, absolutely beautiful, and yeah, and the lids are really easy to get on and off because of this hexagonal kind of nut sort of shape, but they can be a bit tenuous at times, particularly if you're a little bit prone to knocking things over, like myself. And for me, because I've got filming equipment, I've got my microphone and all sorts of things, I really appreciate having that peace of mind of having the ink in the stand, and it just makes it so much more sturdy. The design details, I mean, look at this point along the bottle, and the design details in here. They have a little indentation to fit it so nicely, and of course this sits in the middle. And, okay, case in point, not on this bottle, but on some of their limited editions or special edition bottles, they have designs which mimic that Ferris wheel, and so they look absolutely beautiful on your desk with that sort of design as well. I will just show you my other one that I have, just so you can compare. This is the one in the brushed silver finish. So you can see all the other details are the same. I think this one is a little bit more rounded. These points, I know they've sort of slightly redesigned it and brought it out in this lovely shiny gold. And I think those slight design improvements are really, really nice. It's just a little bit more smooth to touch. That's quite sharp and pointy there, especially on these side bits. These are a bit more rounded. Yeah, so there's a bit of a side-by-side comparison. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that my little velvet bits weren't quite on as well as they could be, but you know, it's an easy fix, right? And the other side, whoops, I've turned this one the wrong way around, with the Ferris Wheel Press written there. And you can see here, this emblem on the top here is a bit bigger on this later edition. And on this side too. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful, but very practical. And before I had those ones to use, I had a friend 3D print me a holder, and that's what I was using, but not quite as aesthetic, you could say, as these ones. Alright, my friend, I am going to leave it there and finish up with some close-ups with this ink, which is Tunes of Tinseltown by Ferris Wheel Press. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!